Alright everyone, so let's continue. Now we have actually pretty much good tasks in here. So first we can test that if we are in the character view model, it does not automatically load the user. And if we call the load, it's actually loading the user. And this test could show that we are displaying error message at the end of the result here. And this one is telling us that we can deliver character when we use the load here. So what are we missing here? So basically in the ViewModel or in the UI layer, usually we are having this kind of changing state stuff, right? So for example, we first load the user and the loading will display, and after the loading is displayed, we will display either the error or the character. So these steps, this kind of state changes is the things that we are missing here. So actually we could try to test that using spy here. So for example, we could in here we could observe the changes on the UI state and see the assert is actually, the states should be equal to our expected state. For example, first is loading and the second is displaying the character. So we could actually do that. So what we want to do is basically try to observe the state here. So but we need to refactor this one, and we are going to do that in test-driven development again. So let's go back in here, so because I think this method is much simpler if we compare with looping inside here. So we could try to here, for example, SUT, we want to observe the state here, for example, and let's sync using combine, and here we will have the state, right? And we want to append the state, and we want to save the state basically so that we can reuse this. So we could store it into the received states.append our state here. So basically we need the received state, we can create it later, and basically want to assert that our received state is equal to the loading, for example. And here we want to display certain user, right? Let me include the user as well, expected user here. I think this is pretty much it. So if we see here, we basically trying to compare our stored states in the task with the actual states that we want to, if you want to have these states here, right? So let me delete this because we don't use this anymore here, and see that we basically need to store it in here. Receive state is gonna be equal to an array of character ViewModel.state enum, and let me make the var, and I accidentally forget to store the subscription, so let me store that in the cancellables here. And I think that's gonna be pretty much it, and I think we have a solid task in here. And of course the compiler is gonna guiding us that because we don't have the state, right? So what we can do is we can create the state in here, state, and I believe we will have the loading, and we will have the display certain character. And let's go back down and see. Now we need the state here, so we can create that. So the state is going to be observed by the UI. So the state is actually a published var state is actually the state right there. But let's make it optional at the moment because we don't have the initial state, or we can just assign an initial state here. All right, so let's go down again, and we need to define the cancelable. So the cancelable is going to be defined in here. So let's try to define it quickly. For cancellables is actually a set of any cancelable and the compiler doesn't recognize this one because I need to import combine. Right, let's go down again, and now the compiler is helping us that this enum, this received state, is not equal. Yep, basically it's saying that it is our state needs to confirm to equitable. So let's confirm that into equitable here, and let's check the character if it is equitable or not, because I forgot. Okay, it's equitable, so we don't need to add extra equitable on the character. I think that's pretty much good, and the compiler is happy now. And let's see if we can assert this one. It is failing because let's see. So it says that initial array of initial is not equal to our expected one. So basically we have additional state that we actually want to ignore because we don't care about initial at the moment. So what I want to do, we can drop the first here. We can drop first, and let me run the test again. And now we have empty array because we are dropping the initial value of the state. What we want to care is about this loading and display state, right? So our test is pretty much good. So what we want to do is we want to apply the loading and display implementation on the onload function here, right? So we can try to assign the state before we do anything on the load function, and after succeed we want to assign the state into display the character that is being loaded here. And I think that's pretty much good, and let's try to command you again. Oh, still failing. Let's see what happened. So optional character must be wrapped, but actually we don't need that because we are observing the state, not the character at the moment. So we could make that as a function level property, function level variable, and assign it directly to the state, so that basically we don't need this anymore. So we can delete this, and let's see if the compiler is helping us again. I think this one is the old error message, and let's hit command U. And yeah, boom, that's good. We basically have a solid test in here, and I think it's good time to commit. So the character ViewModel here, commit there, unload, or we can just say change ViewModel based properties observation into state based observation here. So it's only for the character, but we need to do the same for the error as well, right? So what we can do is we can just copy and paste things. Just for the simplicity, we can try to copy in here. We need the received states, and the assertion is still needed. So let me try to copy and paste the assertion here, and instead of displaying the character, we want to display an error. Otherwise, we can just display this error message here. Oh, it is not error message, I'm sorry, I meant this one. Let's delete this, and I think the setup is pretty much good, unless I forgot to again to store this one. So let me store this. Okay, I think that's pretty much good, and let's see if we can run the test here. And of course we haven't defined the error case, so let's define the error case first. Up here we need to define an error to indicate that the UI needs to display any error, right? So let me go back again. Okay, the test is failing. Now let's see the error message. Basically the loading is not equal to the loading and displaying error. So basically it's pretty much good. We are telling that the onload function is only displaying loading, and after that we haven't displayed any error. So we can say that state.error, and I think we can omit this and move this string knowledge into SwiftUI. As per now, we don't need to assert the exact error message in the example, but in your project maybe you can do that as well. So let me delete that and delete this one because I don't think I need this, and hit commit again and see we have a green test, and let's commit. Refactor to error state-based MVVM for error case. Alright, I think that's pretty much good, and let's move these cancellables into top. Let's run again, Command U. Okay, we are pretty much good. Commit. And the last thing that we want to do is moving the character ViewModel into the production layer. But yeah, we could move that. So let me create a group called presentation and move the character ViewModel in here. Okay, I think that's pretty much good, and let's hit Command U again, see what happened. That's pretty good. Can we omit this? I don't know. Let's try. Oh no, we cannot, because we need to mark this as a published property. So I think that's pretty much good. All right, and it says move this one into production code and hit commit. And actually, if you guys notice that actually missed to add this as observable object, and this one is gonna be working with a SwiftUI, but actually if we are adding this, we actually doesn't have tests to cover this yet. So what if we can delete adding this and add this observable object conformance into I don't know, in the future maybe we could add some UI tests to prove that we are forget to add the observable object here, or maybe another test would be sufficient for that. Yeah, we'll see in the next feature. So I think this one is pretty much good, and let's see if we have another things to improve maybe in this service class or service test. I believe there is a minor improvement here, because here I need to change the string because it's displaying the timeout error, but this is not the timeout error for this server error, right? So server error, and this one should be another error, invalidation error. This one is invalidation error. Okay, let's hit Command U. That's pretty much good. We can try to commit here. Alright guys, I think that's pretty much it. We have created the ViewModel. It's very simple ViewModel, and you can see that this ViewModel has a single state to be observed by the UI, and I think I like the implementation. Maybe we could try to change in the future, but I don't know, it depends on the UI needs. But in here, you can see that we are pretty much having a clean solution for displaying the state. First, we display the state is loading, and then we basically load character and display the state, the character. And if we got any error, we just display any error here. And I think that's pretty much straightforward. And let's review what we've been building in this ViewModel here. First, we are testing the behavior when we are creating the instance, that we are checking if the instance is actually not immediately load the user, right? Because I don't think we want to immediately load the user when we are doing the instantiation of the ViewModel here. So we could try to prove that using spy which we are defined in here. So it's actually getting the call count here. That's the importance of the spy. And the second function is the same, but we need to trigger the load function here to prove that it's actually working. And the third one is we are trying to show the error by creating the SUT with the stop, the failure error, and then we observe that error and we are loading the error here, and we need to assert the loading and error state if it is matched or not in here. And all of that we are enumerate all of the error possibilities from the remote service here, and that's very good. And about this one, this show character, we basically pretty much do the same thing, but we are stubbing it with the success case except with the expected user. And other than that, it's pretty much the same with a different assertion here. So let's review what's going on in the stop here, or in the make SUT. We are basically injecting the result, and this result is going to be injected to the service, and the service is injected to the character ViewModel. And let's see what's going on in the character stop here, and I think that's below in here. Or okay, basically it's getting the result via constructor and it opened it in here. And yeah, it's pretty much straightforward, but I think we could simplify this. Maybe let's try to simplify this if it is possible. We could omit this and go with the pretty much easy syntax like return I don't know, result dot get. I don't know if it is possible or not, but yeah, I think it's possible because the signature should be the same here, right? And let's hit Command U. Oh, we need to try hit Command U. And okay, so that's pretty much good example of refactoring because we have the test picking up here. Let's commit that. Simplify switch case with get function. Yeah guys, I think that's pretty much it, and we have reviewed a lot of stuff here. So maybe in the next video we are continuing on the UI side, creating the Swift UI, and hopefully we can test the Swift UI maybe using integration test or grabbing the UI element and assert that. I don't know, let's try to figure it out what happened within the test tree. Maybe we are showing in the UI test. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. In this video we are creating the ViewModel, and in the next video we will gonna be having fun with the Swift UI stuff, and maybe hopefully we could add the task as well for the Swift UI. So let's see. So thank you for watching, and hit like and subscribe if you like this video. So stay tuned and see you in the next video. Bye.